In this video, we'll explore the dark side of kindness. 7 surprising ways excessive generosity can harm you. This is a crucial watch for anyone who values generosity and kindness, but may be overextending themselves. We'll delve into how excessive generosity can lead to self-neglect, create dependency, and even strain relationships. Understanding these pitfalls can help us practice generosity in a healthier, more balanced way, aligning with the Stoic philosophy of moderation. So, hit that subscribe button, stay stoic, and watch till the end to uncover the wisdom hidden in this paradox. This video might just change the way you view kindness and generosity forever. Lesson 1. Overextending oneself. Excessive generosity can harm us when we overextend ourselves, neglecting our own well-being in the process. It is important to understand the concept of moderation and balance, which lies at the core of Stoic philosophy. Imagine a scenario where you have a close friend who is going through a difficult time financially. Out of sheer kindness, you offer to lend them a significant amount of money that you can afford, even if it means stretching your own budget to do so. In this act of generosity, you may feel a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction for being able to help someone in need. However, if you continuously give beyond your means, you may find yourself struggling to meet your own basic needs and financial obligations. Stoics emphasize the importance of personal responsibility and self-care. They believe that we should strive to maintain a balance between helping others and taking care of ourselves. By neglecting our own well-being, we risk compromising our own mental, physical, and emotional health. To better understand this, let's look at an analogy. Imagine you are on an airplane, and the flight crew instructs you to put on your oxygen mask before assisting others. This is not an act of selfishness, but rather a practical demonstration of prioritizing your own survival, which allows you to help others effectively. In the same way, Stoics advocate for taking care of ourselves first, ensuring our own stability before extending our generosity to others. By practicing moderation and being mindful of our own limitations, we can avoid the negative consequences of overextending ourselves. It doesn't mean we should refrain from helping others altogether, but rather that we should assess our own capacity to give and set boundaries accordingly. Additionally, overextending oneself can lead to a sense of resentment and burnout. If we continuously give beyond our capabilities, we may start feeling a lack of appreciation or even exploitation from those we are helping. This can strain relationships and create a sense of imbalance, perpetuating a cycle of unhealthy giving. To avoid these pitfalls, Stoics encourage us to practice discernment and wisdom in our acts of generosity. It is important to assess the impact of our actions on both ourselves and the recipient. By considering our own well-being and setting realistic boundaries, we can ensure that our acts of kindness are sustainable and beneficial for all parties involved. In conclusion, lesson number 1, the danger of overextending oneself, teaches us the importance of maintaining a balance between helping others and taking care of ourselves. By practicing moderation and setting boundaries, we can avoid the negative consequences that excessive generosity can bring. Stoicism reminds us that true generosity stems from wisdom and self-awareness, enabling us to make a positive impact without sacrificing our own well-being. So let us embrace the Stoic principle of moderation and approach our acts of kindness with a mindful and balanced perspective. Lesson 2. Creating dependency. Excessive generosity can inadvertently create dependency in others, hindering their personal growth and development. While the intention behind being generous is often to help others, it is essential to recognize the potential negative consequences that can arise when generosity crosses the line into excessive giving. In the Stoic philosophy, self-reliance is highly valued. Stoics believe that individuals should strive to be self-sufficient and capable of handling their own problems. By constantly providing for others without allowing them to develop their own skills and independence, we inadvertently rob them of the opportunity to grow. When we excessively give, whether it be financial assistance, emotional support, or constant problem solving, we create a sense of reliance in others. They may come to expect and depend on our assistance, which can lead to a disempowered mindset. By always being there to solve their problems, we inadvertently communicate that they are not capable of doing it themselves. Over time, this can lead to a lack of motivation and a diminished sense of personal agency. Moreover, creating dependency can strain relationships. When one person constantly takes on the role of the giver, it can create an unhealthy power dynamic. The person receiving the excessive generosity may feel indebted or inferior, while the giver may begin to resent the lack of reciprocity. This imbalanced dynamic erodes the foundations of healthy relationships built on mutual respect and equality. To avoid creating dependency, it is important to strike a balance between offering assistance and empowering others to solve their own problems. This does not mean withholding help or support when genuinely needed, but rather encouraging and nurturing self-sufficiency. One way to do this is by practicing the philosophy of teach a man to fish. Instead of simply providing solutions, we can guide others towards finding their own answers. This involves actively listening, asking thought-provoking questions, and encouraging independent problem solving. By doing so, we help foster a sense of self-confidence and personal growth in others. Stoics also emphasize the importance of setting boundaries. It is essential to recognize our own limitations and ensure that we are not sacrificing our own well-being and resources at the expense of others. By maintaining a healthy balance, we can continue to offer support without creating a sense of dependency. In summary, excessive generosity can unintentionally create dependency in others, hindering their growth and straining relationships. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-reliance and the importance of empowering others to solve their own problems. By striking a balance between support and independence, we can foster personal growth and maintain healthy relationships. So let us be mindful of our generosity and ensure that we are not unintentionally hindering the development of others. Stay stoic and embrace the wisdom of moderation in all acts of kindness. Lesson number 3 from the dark side of kindness. 7 surprising ways excessive generosity can harm you focuses on the potential resentment that can arise from excessive generosity. It's important to recognize that while acts of kindness may be well-intentioned, they can sometimes lead to unintended consequences in our relationships. When we consistently exhibit excessive generosity towards others, it can create a sense of inferiority or obligation in them. They may start to feel inadequate or indebted, which can strain the dynamics of the relationship. This is not the desired outcome when we are trying to be kind and helpful. From a Stoic perspective, relationships should be built on mutual respect, equality, and understanding. When we fall into patterns of overgenerosity, it can disrupt this balance. Rather than fostering healthy connections, it can lead to resentment and a lack of genuine connection. It's important to remember that kindness should never come with strings attached. When we give with the expectation of receiving something in return, it diminishes the authenticity of our actions. Stoics advocate for selflessness and detachment from outcomes. By expecting reciprocity, we lose sight of the true essence of kindness. To prevent resentment from taking root, it's essential to establish healthy boundaries. This means being mindful of our own limitations and not overextending ourselves. It's not selfish to prioritize our own well-being. It's a fundamental aspect of self-care. By taking care of ourselves first, we can ensure that our acts of kindness come from a genuine place of abundance rather than depletion. Additionally, communication plays a vital role in maintaining healthy relationships. It's essential to have open and honest discussions about expectations and boundaries. By expressing our limitations and clarifying our intentions, we can prevent misunderstandings and avoid the buildup of resentment. Stoics encourage us to approach relationships with wisdom and discernment. It's crucial to assess the impact of our actions and ensure that our generosity is empowering rather than enabling. True kindness lies in empowering others to develop their own abilities and strengths rather than creating dependency. By recognizing the potential for resentment in excessive generosity, we can approach acts of kindness with a sense of balance and mindfulness. We can cultivate relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and growth. Stoicism reminds us that our actions should be guided by wisdom, and it's through this wisdom that we can navigate the complexities of relationships and avoid the dark side of kindness. In conclusion, excessive generosity can lead to the unintended consequence of resentment in others. Stoics teach us the importance of setting boundaries, communicating openly, and approaching acts of kindness with wisdom and discernment. By staying mindful of the potential for resentment, we can foster healthier relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Let us stay stoic, be aware of the impacts of our generosity, and strive for balance and harmony in our interactions with others. Lesson number 4 from the dark side of kindness. 7 surprising ways excessive generosity can harm you brings to light an important aspect of excessive generosity, being taken advantage of. In this lesson, we'll explore the potential consequences of being overly generous and how it can lead to manipulation and exploitation. When we are naturally inclined to be generous, it can be easy for others to recognize this trait and exploit it for their own benefit. Unfortunately, not everyone has pure intentions, and some individuals may see our generosity as an opportunity to take advantage of us. They may manipulate us into giving more than we can afford or continuously seek our assistance without reciprocating. From a Stoic perspective, wisdom and discernment play key roles in dealing with others. Stoics emphasize the need to evaluate situations and individuals carefully, considering not only our own well-being but also the intentions of those we interact with. It is important to recognize when someone is exploiting our generosity and to have the courage to set boundaries. One way to navigate this potential pitfall is by practicing the Stoic principle of justice. Justice, in this context, means treating others fairly and ensuring that our actions align with what is reasonable and just. Being just means that we don't allow others to take advantage of our kindness and that we set limits that maintain a sense of balance and fairness. Setting boundaries and saying no can be challenging, especially if we fear disappointing others or being seen as less generous. However, it is crucial to remember that true generosity should come from a place of genuine care and consideration, rather than obligation or fear of rejection. By practicing discernment and understanding our limits, we can protect ourselves from being taken advantage of. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control. While we cannot control the actions or intentions of others, we can control our own responses and decisions. By cultivating inner strength and resilience, we can maintain our integrity and protect ourselves from manipulation. It is also essential to remember that generosity should be a two-way street. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. If someone consistently takes advantage of our kindness without showing appreciation or reciprocation, it may be necessary to reevaluate that relationship. Stoics value relationships based on equality and harmony, and it is important to surround ourselves with people who appreciate and respect our generosity. By understanding the potential consequences of excessive generosity, particularly being taken advantage of, we can approach acts of kindness with a balanced perspective. This lesson serves as a reminder to practice discernment, set boundaries, and prioritize our well-being while still nurturing our inclination to help others. So, if you want to learn more about the dark side of kindness and how excessive generosity can lead to being taken advantage of, hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll gain access to more insightful content that explores Stoic principles and how they can positively impact your life. Stay Stoic and watch till the end to uncover the valuable wisdom hidden in this paradox. Lesson number 5 from the dark side of kindness, 7 surprising ways excessive generosity can harm you, is about how excessive generosity can breed laziness in others. Let's explore this concept in depth, drawing insights from Stoic philosophy. Generosity is often seen as a noble virtue, and rightly so. It allows us to help others, contribute to society, and foster a sense of compassion and empathy. However, when taken to an extreme, excessive generosity can unintentionally hinder personal growth and perpetuate a cycle of dependency. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-improvement and personal development, offers us valuable insights into the potential pitfalls of excessive generosity. Stoics believe that each individual has the capacity for self-reliance and should strive to develop their own skills and abilities. They advocate for cultivating resilience, perseverance, and a sense of inner strength. When we are overly generous, stepping in to solve problems for others without giving them the opportunity to develop their own problem-solving skills, we inadvertently hinder their growth. By constantly providing assistance, we inadvertently discourage individuals from taking responsibility for their own lives and finding their own solutions. This can create a sense of learned helplessness where they become dependent on others to solve their problems. Consider the example of a parent who constantly shields their child from any difficulties or challenges they may face. While the intention behind this excessive generosity may be to protect and care for the child, it can hinder their ability to develop resilience, resourcefulness, and problem-solving skills. As a result, when they encounter challenges later in life, they may struggle to cope and may become reliant on others to bail them out. Similarly, in the context of friendships or relationships, if one person is always overly generous, constantly taking care of the other person's needs and solving their problems, it can create an unhealthy dynamic. The recipient may become accustomed to relying on the other person and may never develop the necessary skills to handle their own challenges. This can lead to an imbalanced power dynamic and strain the relationship over time. Stoics encourage us to find a balance between generosity and enabling. It is important to be compassionate and offer support when needed, but it is equally important to encourage others to face their own challenges, make their own decisions, and learn from their own mistakes. By doing so, we empower them to develop their own strengths and become self-sufficient individuals. To avoid breeding laziness through excessive generosity, it is vital to set boundaries and encourage personal growth. Instead of immediately jumping in to solve someone else's problems, consider offering guidance, sharing resources, or providing support in a way that encourages them to take ownership of their situation. This fosters a sense of self-efficacy and resilience, allowing them to grow and learn from their experiences. In conclusion, excessive generosity can unintentionally breed laziness in others, hindering their personal growth and perpetuating a cycle of dependency. Stoic philosophy reminds us of the importance of balance and moderation in our acts of kindness. By encouraging others to face their own challenges and develop their own problem-solving skills, we empower them to grow and become self-reliant individuals. So, let's strive to be generous in a way that promotes growth and resilience, aligning with the Stoic ideals of personal development and self-improvement. Stay Stoic and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay informed about more valuable insights from Stoic philosophy. Lesson number 6 from the dark side of kindness. 7 surprising ways excessive generosity can harm you. Focuses on the strain that excessive generosity can put on relationships. Let's explore this lesson in depth and understand how it aligns with Stoic principles. In our desire to help others, it's easy to fall into the trap of being overly generous, constantly offering assistance without considering the long-term consequences. While generosity is a noble virtue, it can become detrimental when it creates an imbalance in relationships. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining harmony and equality in our interactions with others. This includes being mindful of not overpowering or overwhelming them with excessive acts of kindness. When we consistently give without allowing others to reciprocate or contribute in their own way, it can strain the dynamics of the relationship. Imagine a scenario where a friend is always there to solve your problems, anticipating your every need, and taking care of everything for you. Initially, it may seem like a wonderful gesture, but over time, it can lead to a sense of disempowerment and a loss of confidence in one's own abilities. This can create an unhealthy dependency on the generous individual, which erodes the relationship's foundation. The Stoic philosophy encourages self-reliance and personal growth. It recognizes that individuals should have the opportunity to face and overcome challenges, develop their skills, and learn from their mistakes. By constantly swooping in to rescue others, we deny them the chance to develop resilience and independence. Additionally, excessive generosity can inadvertently undermine the value and importance of the other person's contributions. If we consistently overshadow others with our acts of kindness, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy and resentment. The recipient may start to question their own worth, feeling as though they can never measure up or offer anything meaningful in return. Stoics believe that relationships should be built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and equality. By maintaining a healthy balance in our generosity, we allow for the natural ebb and flow of giving and receiving. This allows both parties to feel valued and appreciated, fostering a sense of partnership and collaboration rather than a one-sided dynamic. To avoid the strain excessive generosity can put on relationships, it's important to practice moderation and discernment. We should assess whether our acts of kindness are truly helpful or if they might inadvertently hinder the growth and development of the other person. Stoicism teaches us to consider the long-term impact of our actions, ensuring that our generosity is empowering rather than enabling. In conclusion, lesson number 6 highlights the strain that excessive generosity can place on relationships. By understanding the importance of balance, mutual respect, and self-reliance, we can navigate the fine line between being kind and causing unintended harm. Stoicism reminds us to approach generosity with wisdom, allowing others the opportunity to grow, contribute, and maintain their sense of self-worth. So, let's embrace a Stoic mindset, practice moderation, and cultivate harmonious relationships based on equality and respect. Let's explore lesson number 7 from the list: loss of self-respect. Excessive generosity can sometimes lead to a loss of self-respect. When your acts of kindness are consistently rejected, unappreciated, or taken for granted, it can take a toll on your self-esteem and overall sense of self-worth. This can be particularly challenging because one of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is cultivating a deep respect for oneself. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth should not be dependent on external validation or the opinions of others. It emphasizes the importance of finding validation and meaning from within, rather than seeking it from external sources. However, when our generosity is met with ingratitude or disrespect, it can be difficult to maintain this Stoic mindset. When we constantly give to others but receive little in return, it can make us question our own value and the purpose of our generosity. We may start to doubt our ability to make a positive impact or wonder if our efforts are even worthwhile. This self-doubt can eat away at our self-respect, leaving us feeling emotionally drained and unappreciated. To overcome this challenge, Stoicism offers us valuable insights. First and foremost, it reminds us that our self-respect should not be contingent upon the actions or reactions of others. It encourages us to dig deep within ourselves and find validation from our own actions, intentions, and values. Stoics believe that true self-respect comes from acting virtuously, even in the face of adversity or indifference. It is not about seeking praise or recognition, but rather about aligning our actions with our principles and maintaining our integrity, regardless of external circumstances. In the context of excessive generosity, Stoicism teaches us to evaluate our motivations and intentions behind our acts of kindness. Are we helping others purely for the sake of validation or approval? Or are our actions driven by a genuine desire to make a positive difference? By focusing on the latter, we can detach ourselves from the outcomes and expectations associated with our generosity. We learn to find fulfillment in the act of giving itself, and in knowing that we have acted virtuously regardless of how our actions are received. Furthermore, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of setting boundaries. While it is admirable to help others, it is equally important to ensure that we do not neglect our own well-being. By prioritizing self-care and setting limits on our generosity, we can avoid overextending ourselves and protect our own emotional and mental health. In conclusion, lesson number 7 from the dark side of kindness highlights the potential loss of self-respect that can arise from excessive generosity. Stoicism provides valuable guidance on maintaining self-respect by emphasizing the importance of finding validation from within and acting virtuously regardless of external validation. It encourages us to set boundaries and prioritize self-care while still practicing kindness. By integrating these Stoic principles into our lives, we can navigate the challenges of excessive generosity with grace and maintain our self-respect in the process. Stay stoic and remember that your worth is not determined by how others perceive your acts of kindness.